What's going on, guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about the boosted beams. Let's get it. So I think there's four key things which really set apart these boosted beams from other electric skateboard lights like these, the Shred Lights SL200s, and which really make them innovative and something which most electric skateboard users can dream of having on their own electric vehicles. The first thing I would say is the integration of the lights with the board. And what this essentially means is that the lights get their juice and get their power from the main battery source of the board, which in this case will be your standard range or your extended range battery from Boosted. So you never ever need to charge them, which for lazy people like me is a huge plus and it's a huge bonus. What it also means is that you can actually control the lights from your remote. So if I double click my remote, double click the power button, or the multi button rather, you'll see the lights have just turned off, and if I double click them again, I'll get them back in. Also, there's a multitude of settings within the Boosted app, which you can choose to change the brightness. I think it's in 5% increments, and you can also change it to flashing mode, strobing mode, or just to have it set on all the time. The second really monumental thing which Boosted did with this board, or with these boosted beams, is the active tail light or the brake light. This, for people who ride on the road regularly, is really a godsend, because it's all well and good having a powerful electric skateboard light or whatever kind of light at the back to light you up whilst you're riding on the road, but really cars can't differentiate between when you're just riding normally and when you're about to come to a stop, or when you're slowing down to take a turn or something. So really, having active brake lights like this, so if I engage the brake now, you can see the light increases in brightness. It makes it clear to anyone who's behind you, whether you're riding on the road and it's traffic, or whether you're riding on cycle lanes and it's bicycles or mobility scooters or whatever, or even if it's passengers on a pavement. It makes it crystal clear to them that you're about to take a turn, or you're about to slow down, and they'll be able to react to that. So it makes it really safe as compared to other electric skateboard lights. The third thing I think which really makes these special is the sheer brightness of them. I'll turn them off because then you can't see me, but I'm not sure, I can't remember off the top of my head the exact lumens of these boosted beams, but I'm pretty sure that they're much brighter than having two of the latest Shred Lights, which have come to be the most popular electric skateboard lights. Having two of these, I think the boosted beams are much brighter. I'll put that on the screen now for you, just to be sure of it. But really, these really light your way up at night, and it's really quite reassuring to know that you have bright lights, because people have different views about this. Some people say that you should have either a torch in your hand or something on your helmet to actually see, and that lights on your board are only to be seen. But I generally tend to agree with that. But I think that with the boosted beams, it's a bit different in that the lights are so bright, they actually emit quite a long line of lights in front of you, and you'll be able to pick up small pebbles or obstacles in your way, even in pitch black, which I'll show you some footage of that right now. And so that's a really great thing about these boosted beams, and they're really quite well made as well. which, you know, is quite reassuring, particularly when you're paying around, you know, 180 UK pounds for them. You can't even get them now actually, because Boosted's gone bust. But I'll actually put a link to my eBay listing where I'm actually selling this whole Boosted board, just because I've got an Evolve GTR and I tend to use that much more. This just tends to gather around and collect dust, but that's really because, as much as I love the Flex and I love this board, I think the battery on it is just not suited for heavy riders like me. Myself, I'm 120 kilos, and so really I tend to just gravitate towards the Evolve GTR. But let's not get too sidetracked. Let's get to the fourth reason, which I think really sets this, you know, the Boosted beams apart from other lights, and that is the USBC port, and that's located on the left, on the back of the left light. And I think it's really awesome and really quite important actually to have you know, some kind of power source from your board that you can use to power your phone, to power, you know, to connect your charger and to charge it up, and just to get you out of sticky situations. You know, if you've forgotten to charge your remote but you've charged your board and now you're stuck in the middle of nowhere with no power bank and no form of, you know, maybe your phone's run out of battery as well, and you can't call anyone or call a taxi to pick you up. You know, this can really be a godsend to be able to plug your remote right into the Boosted beams, and to charge it and to make sure that you can get back home safely. Also to charge your phone, you know, if you've forgotten your battery bank or if you don't carry a battery bank for whatever reason. It's really, you know, quite a nice feature to have. And it's actually really nice to see that, obviously Boosted now aren't doing this anymore because they're not selling these products anymore, but it's nice to see this kind of move generally in the scene. I've seen it in, you know, quite a few cheaper quote-unquote Chinese boards, and with the, you know, more premium electric skateboards like the Evolve Bamboo GTR, also the Evolve Stoke, which is, you know, Evolve is quite possibly the biggest electric skateboard manufacturer in the world, and it's really nice to see that they're being innovative and they're providing, they actually provide 2 USB ports on their board, and they actually have them for what they call prism strips, which, you know, they're just LED strips on the board, but you can of course use them to power your to charge up your remotes or to charge your phone or whatever the case may be. So I think that's all I have to say for this video about the Boosted beams. Overall, I really like them. I've only ridden them perhaps 50 or 60 miles whilst they've been on this board. I've loved every second of them. It's just so nice. If you're a lazy person like me, like I said, it's so nice to know that you never need to charge them, especially if you're somebody that films a lot of your rides and that, you know, that has a lot of USB accessories which need to be charged. It's really nice to know that, you know, you have front and back lights which you don't need to worry about, and they'll always be charged. They'll always be ready to go so long as your board is charged, which of course you charge your board before you head out the door anyway. And so I really like these Boosted beams. I've actually seen, you know, some innovative Boosted board riders who've DIY'd some form of Boosted beams prototype, or, well, not Boosted beams, they don't look anything like Boosted beams, and they obviously won't be the same quality because they're not a multi-million-pound e-skate company, but they are integrated into the remote, and I think they're also integrated into the battery, so you don't need to charge them. I'll put a link for that in the description if you're a Boosted board rider and you still want to you know, be riding your Boosted board and you don't want to sell it off. I mean, a lot of people I've seen are actually wanting to sell off their Boosted boards because they know that once you know, a part goes bust, you're left to your own devices per se. You don't have any awesome customer support like we previously had from Boosted boards. And, you know, if for instance, you know, people are reporting a lot of issues with the V3 batteries and the V3 motors, if they go bust, then you kind of have to fork out the money yourself to go and replace those parts. And so, you know, quite attractive position, I guess, to take is to sell off your Boosted board and, you know, not necessarily to say get out of e-skate, much to the contrary actually. I think sell your boosted board maybe, or wait till your boosted board, you know, some kind of fundamental part on it breaks, and then sell your boosted board and go for a either a UK, you know, a manufacturer that services their boards in the UK, such as Evolve Skateboards. You know, I think Evolve probably has the best servicing and customer services in the UK for UK customers, or go for something like an X-Wave Flex, which I think Slip Revolution are now beginning to, or they will very soon be servicing in the UK. But I think it's really important, especially for customers like me who aren't too DIY savvy, and you know, who don't necessarily want to be forking out you know, a lot of money on you know, parts once they break down, especially if they're parts which, you know, are known to break, you know, quite often, and you can't really, I mean, I'm not really sure, but I don't think you can get more reliable motors and put them on this board. I think it's very much within the ecosystem of the booster boards. But I think I'm rambling on a bit here. I'll cue in some ride footage for you to see how these lights actually perform at night, and how bright they actually are. And yeah, I really appreciate everybody who subscribed to this channel, everybody that contributes, whether it's commenting, liking, and I hope to dedicate some more time to this channel within the coming months, especially, you know, as we're going through this really difficult period with the lockdown. I know everybody's, you know, suffering in some way or other, and so I thought I'd just make this quick video about the boosted beams, and hopefully it provides some sort of entertainment or insight for boosted board riders or any electric skateboard riders about electric skateboard lights. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.